What's up, guys? This is Mikhail with Hustle System, where art meets commerce. I am here in the beautiful city of San Marcos at a lake with ducks with my mom. With my mom, who I need to see much more frequently.
Hello.
And yes, she's awesome. And we're gonna just talk about life and what life means. So if you wanna, start moving here, there we go. We were just talking about things that she taught me when I was young, and I said that she taught me to work hard, and she said that was utter nonsense. That she taught me to.
Never did.
What did you teach me? What did you teach me?
I taught you to do what you love, and then you can work. It looks to others that you work hard, but actually you do what you love to do, right?
So what you're saying is when I do what I love, because I love to do it so much,
you never feel that you're working hard.
So you never feel.
But it might look so to others.
Yeah. So it's actually easier to kind of get results because of that, right? So rather than like working hard to do something I hate, it's a lot better, right?
Depending what the result is. If the result is happiness, then it's process that gives it to you.
Result is happiness.
Well,
wow.
Yeah. What result do you want? Money?
No.
Well,
money is
nice.
Success. This is good. See, this is supposed to be. She's gonna take over the channel, guys. I'm gonna just. She's got me in a bind. And it's so cool. So the things that I had, right, was like hard work, focus, and to be honest. And this happiness hypothesis.
Be honest. Yes, I know. Be honest. Did you ever tell how you faked all your grades?
Okay, yeah, so... This goes live, Mom. Okay.
Yes, Mishka.
So you want me to tell them the story?
No, listen. Once you faked all your grades, and I saw that they're fake. Okay, and then I was talking to my girlfriend Natashka, and we was saying that our kids lie. And then we decided, let's give it a try. Let's be honest for a week, ourselves. See how it goes. So the next day we broke it. We kept talking. So it's very hard to be honest.
It's very hard. So the story...
But yes, it is a good thing to try.
So the story is, so you guys know, so I don't look like too bad. So I was going to school and I realized that my teachers didn't make enough money and so I shouldn't listen to them. So I stopped going to school. And as a growth hack, I decided to Photoshop my grades because I didn't really want to go to school, and she caught me.
She got all Fs.
I got all Fs.
All Fs. I was looking for a sign, a proud parent of all F student. Yes. She got all Fs and gave me the, record or what? How do you call that?
Yeah, the progress report.
Yeah. Progress report with A's, A+, A-.
It was super funny. I actually went the first day of school, and then I went the last day of school. And I tried to take the test, and obviously I didn't pass the test, and it didn't work out so well, and they didn't enjoy it. But what did I do after? Did I catch up after that?
Oh, absolutely. Once we took you to private summer school, you did algebra, the whole year of algebra in 2 months.
Yeah.
It was a matter of, I'm not sure what. Coming to class when you want, basically.
Yeah, I have a problem with authority, and... what it was for me was like, and I think a lot of people watching might actually resonate with this, is that within a fixed structure, it's called autocracy, right? Where it's like you have to do things a certain way just because somebody tells you. And I don't know, I'm an artist. I've always been against that. I've always been like, well, why? Why do I have to show up? Why can't I do the entire year or 2 years of school in like 6 to 9 months on my own time? Why can't I do that? So for me, it was kind of a rebellious streak that I think a lot of is kind of it's a weird sign of either you're gonna totally mess up your life, or you're gonna be some weird entrepreneur who does weird things.
Well, Mishka, when you got Fs, it was like this. Each time you showed up for class, you would get an A. But it is just that you didn't show up for class. So it makes no sense, really. Altogether, so it was fine. But when you faked it, I really tried to be honest. I couldn't do it for 1 day, really.
So honesty. That's how she taught me honesty in this in this very practical way. We talk about like field tested approaches, right? And that's a real world field tested approach, and it's amazing. It's really beautiful. So happiness. So you're seeing me going through a lot. right? And you've been just such a great blessing to have in that you always realign me on things that maybe I'm overstretching myself. I'm putting money first instead of myself first. We talk about that, like putting yourself first to make sure that the happiness drives everything forward. And I don't think I've always stuck to that.
Yeah, Anishka, I'm sorry. About honesty, yeah. Actually, yes, I admit. I told you that one feature of a man is keep your word.
Well, I do that.
Yeah, I told you that, yes. I admit that.
She did say
makes
that.
you manly.
Thank you.
Really do.
Thank you.
Keep your word, which is not easy. It takes lots of courage and power
Thank you.
to do so.
love
Yeah,
you,
I
Mom.
told you once or twice.
She told me a few times.
But I do believe in it. Yeah, it any word to yourself or to others means anybody can rely on your word. That's a big deal for a man, really.
Thank you. If there's, let's say I had a little brother like next to me
Yeah.
who was doing the same things I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any advice on happiness? For someone just like me. Maybe not me, but someone just like me.
What was advice for the brother? Who
Yeah,
does a
yeah.
hypothetical? Why not for you?
Or just for me.
Ah,
Just for me.
happiness.
Yeah. On like for example, as entrepreneurs, we work really hard. So is it maybe like how do you approach that? Is it just a place that you are by default?
Well, I'm not sure overall, but for sure, for example, with people, you can feel if you're happy with particular people or not. For example, you can have a girlfriend who looks real great, but you're not happy with her, but she's just like a display item for others, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it makes sense, it satisfies many needs. But of course, for example, I would love to see you with somebody with who you feel happy.
Oh,
Just, you know, that.
thank you. Well, so yeah, so this is what happens, guys. Learning lesson: if you put your mom on camera with no scripting, you're gonna have to be vulnerable, and that's really missing. It's really missing in the world. Is this like real connection? I think people are so disconnected now that they're almost afraid to have a conversation like this. They're terrified because things will come up and then it's like, oh, I've been a bad boy. I failed all my classes, and that's true. You know, there's something in being unique and special and paving your own way where you don't always have a reference point. And I've always used, I've had many amazing mentors. Right, whether that's Ty Lopez or the Jump Cut guys or Owen Cook from Real Social Dynamics, but Owen, remember
Owen,
the beard guy?
Yes.
Yeah, so I had many amazing mentors, but my mom's my first and best and most honest mentor.
And the worst as well.
No, I mean it's amazing, right? Because it's a blessing. This is something that not everybody gets. Not everybody gets a person who's real, who can tell you things that might not be the perfect thing that you want to hear. It might be something that you don't even really want to accept, but you know what? It's the right thing. It's truly, as the universe brings the world together and brings us all together, it truly is the right thing, not just for you, but for the entire structure of the universe, for it to be a bigger, better universe, to keep expanding, to keep growing. And that's really rare. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, what other bad stuff did I do when I was? What's like the worst thing I ever did? You know.
No, but what about the best? You were very friendly that time. Mm-hmm. When you were little, you were very friendly. When we just came to this country, we were driving car and you showed me where to go. You had the map at 7 or 8 years old. You were telling me where we go because I just learned to drive. And you were waving to everybody. Yeah, you were so nice and social.
Yeah, well, what happened was, right, I got thrown into this thing. So it's fascinating how I think for me, my brain wasn't fully developed yet. All right, I was 8 years old when I came here, and I was figuring it out. So it had to like make all these connections, and so.
No, you were just friendly with everybody. Yes, and I remember you were lost a few times and somebody found you, gave you a ride, like that. You would always make a very good connection with people.
It's called leveraging your resources, folks. You want to leverage the resources that you have. No, it's the way I saw it, right? The way I saw it was I'm in this weird place. I don't speak the language. I don't really understand. So how do I communicate without talking, right? How do I communicate through energy?
So we wave from the car.
Yeah, we wave from the car.
From the window.
And let's maybe talk about energy. I think a lot of the spiritual things that you have imparted on me, I've resisted because I'm such a capitalist. And
Spiritual.
yeah, well,
What
like Reiki, but those things ended up proving really, really, really amazing tools for me as a business person, like for pure practical business. Obviously, there's kind of the woo-woo stuff, and then there's the whoa, I'm actually getting really amazing results on being able to, for example, connect with people. So what are some, I guess what are some other things that maybe I did that were kind of like, that's weird, but like made sense, because I can't see it from a third perspective.
Okay. I will complete with friendliness. So what happened? I just learned to drive. We didn't know the place, right? So we would end up in the wrong lane all the time, and then you would wave to other drivers asking to let us, turn, change the lane when it was already late. And you made it diplomacy. It always worked for us. What else you did? You played. Well, the first thing we bought on the first money, we bought the piano, right? So you played piano. You were improvising. I was very impressed with that because you were able to improvise, make up music on the floor. I don't know if it is related to anything at all. So it's some kind of creativity. What else? Yeah, and at school also about friendliness. I remember the teacher sent me a paper that your discipline is below F. But it was Mark's pleasure to have in class. See, there's kind of something like that.
Wait, my discipline was below F. What does that mean?
Below F, A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
G. It's a G. I got a G in class for discipline.
Yeah.
Which clearly shows that I'm able to obey orders and follow rule sets from a very young, early age. I think that's kind of funny, right? Because it's kind of a different reality. It's like. And the more I realize it, the more I look at, for example, the way that you have taught me things, the more I realize that it was actually with a lot of intention for me to be able to pave my own way. Like for example, like a good example is like when I didn't show up to school. Like I think there was one time where like they called you and you're like, well, if he doesn't want to it's not my problem. Like if he doesn't want to show up, like that's not my problem. And I just thought that was the coolest freaking thing ever. It's just so freaking cool.
I know.
To do that.
Yeah, you did best with the minimal discipline imposed. Yes. Like at that private school, you remember the Futures? Yeah, that's a very good school.
Yeah.
What else did we do? We played tennis. You showed the dog show, and you won a prize.
I did do that.
Yes, but I'm not sure what else.
Yes, girls, if you like puppies, I used to train puppies. I'm just going to throw that out there. Shameless plug for any single ladies watching,
So we played tennis, we went snowboarding, you did so well.
Yeah?
That was, yeah, I still remember how you did that. In 2 months, you were a pro in snowboarding.
Well, that's like a risk thing. I think there's a kind of a stupid part of me that doesn't understand what it means to physically hurt myself. And so I was kind of the stupid kid and was just like, cool, let me go like as fast as I can and just boom. And as a parent, that's got to be terrifying. I mean, I was definitely not
I admired that. I still remember how you're riding on that snowboard on the black diamond. How this black diamond?
Yeah, the double blacks, yeah.
Yeah, double what?
That double black or black diamond, yeah, whatever.
Double black diamond.
Yep.
Yes, at Big Bear or something. So fast. It is still in my eyes. I admired that because we just started and we didn't go so many times. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. That's so cool. That's so cool. Uh, it's so amazing, right? To get to have that, right? That like that's so amazing. It's so just a short call to action to those of you that are watching.
The snowboard is tough.
It
Yes.
is.
My snowboard always wanted to go to the tree.
That's how it
It
goes.
just goes to the tree.
But that's a connection with nature kind of thing, right?
Yes. And I just kind of attached to this thing, and it goes to just straight to some tree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was amazing. I was admiring when you were
Thank you.
when you learned to ride the snowboard so fast.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
What else did we do?
So just for a moment, like take the time, like you watching, right? There's a magical moment in time. Take the time to do this. What I'm doing here, take the time to do this in your life, okay? Because you might miss a moment and you don't get those moments back ever. And so sometimes you just put yourself in the water and you swim and you let the river take you. What else did we do? I know that's a bit of an aside, right? But
Well,
I think it's important, because like when we start,
what important?
well, like when we started, we're like, what are we going to talk about on this? And we're just like, let's just talk.
Mishka,
And-
I'm sorry. You were also very good with maps. Because we had no idea where to go. With the car, seriously, when I was driving, you had the map of the city in your hands. And city like Washington, D.C. And you were telling me where to go, which exit to take, etc. at age 8. At that time, you were very good with maps, for sure. And I mean, seriously, it was such a big help. It is Sturman, it is called in Russian. How do you call it?
Like a
in
navigator.
Navigator,
Like
yes.
a navigator.
So planning, navigator.
Well, I mean, I kind of had to be, so I kind of had an odd thing where I had to be the kid. I had to kind of be like the best friend, and then I kind of had to be the father figure all at once, right? And that creates a very powerful dynamic, and it allows for very fast growth. I think a lot of the
Yeah.
things that I can do, even in my late 20s and now, I attribute to that. It's like, here you go, here's a puzzle, go solve it. Oh, here's 2 more puzzles, go solve those. And the reality is, you can. I think that was one of the big things that you told me, and it was through your actions and through your support. It was like this, yes, no, you can solve the puzzles, and that was really powerful.
Sometimes you can. Yeah, but you were in charge. You were also telling me to not speed too much.
So what you're telling me is I was the responsible one, and then I told you to speed less, and of course now I also drive very slow.
Okay.
It's a bit
Is it
crazy.
overstatement or understatement?
I don't know. I just don't know.
Okay.
Life moves so fast, and I think that. So this is, I think, a fascinating thing. So, obviously, it's my mom. For those of you who don't get it yet,
Oh, that's good to introduce each other.
to
once in a
introduce
while.
properly. Yes, very nice to.
Nice to meet
very
you.
nice to meet
Yeah.
you. Totally, finally. I guess I was too little to shake your hand when I first met you. Was way too little. But I want to talk about kind of the universe and some cosmic energy stuff and planets. So, like, you have a PhD. Like, that's pretty freaking awesome. Like, I think am I the only person in our entire family who doesn't have a PhD? I think I am. I think I'm the only. No, like.
Sashka does not.
Yeah, but he's little.
He's too young.
But he's little.
just at school.
Yeah. So guys, I'm the.
Yeah.
Besides for a little kid, I'm the only person in my family without a PhD. So I'm the disgrace of the family, in that respect. But I think it was so cool because it's theoretical physics, right?
It is astrophysics.
Yeah, theoretical
Yeah.
astrophysics.
My thesis was about collapsing stars and supernova explosions. Yeah, and the way we came here was actually, it all started with publishing a work about supernova explosions, about the shock wave, how it comes to the edge of the star and then radiates. And what happened, I translated it into English and sent it asking to be published in Astrophysical Journal, which is the best astrophysics journal in this country. And it is a paid publication, so we didn't have money for that at all. And everybody in my department were telling me that it is a stupid thing to do, to send an article like that. But it was just a damn good luck, because the journal was very positive. They published the paper and paid for it.
Wow.
So, and this is what started this visit, so to say, because this way we got connections with other scientists in this country. And later they invited me to come to visit we went to the University of Virginia. It was Professor Chevalier. Yeah, he was working in I hope he's still working in the University of Virginia, and so he invited me to come and work there at his group.
It's amazing.
So it was kind of luck, really. I think God was helping us.
Yeah.
I have no idea how they published that paper, but it started with that. Later, we published papers in England, in London, the Royal Astrophysical Society, monthly notices of the Royal Astrophysical Society, etc. So, and it was all about all these collapsing stars. So it is all theory, absolutely hypothetical.
But there's still something magical there, because like there's a star. Like, the reason why you guys can see this video is because there's a star, literally, the sun, right, that gives us light, and there wouldn't be life on this entire planet. Like, none of us would exist if it wasn't for the star. And so, at least for me, like, I was fascinated.
Even the sun?
Yeah, the sun, right? I mean, we wouldn't be here.
Mishka, yes. Excuse me. And also, you know what? Most likely, we all came from one collapsing star, because supposedly all these heavy elements that we consist of, they were created in the center of a huge collapsing star.
Wow.
Once it collapses, and there is very high pressure, high temperature, and nuclear synthesis occurs, and that it creates the new elements, heavy elements. So we were all together at some point in a very, very small core of a collapsing star. I mean, the material that we are made of. I don't know. I think it is fascinating.
I think it's so amazing, because there's a separation between science and, like, spirituality. And actually, it's very fascinating, because what you just said is basically like this idea of a single source.
Yes.
Us all being one.
Yes.
Separation being an illusion.
We were all packed, really, physically, in a very small volume.
And that's a physics representation of that.
It is a physics.
And then there's also the spiritual representation of that same thing, which I think is fascinating, how people so often kind of try to separate the science from that. And like, the energetic principles apply, the spiritual principles apply, and the physical principles apply. I mean, that's pretty cool. That's like validation of a theory, right? Where you have something that plays out, and then you can reverse engineer it. It's really fascinating. For me, when I was young, it was just the most fascinating thing, because my dad is also a theoretical astrophysicist, and the fact that, like, you were looking at things like stars exploding, right, made my life seem so tiny by comparison. And what I mean by that was like everything became kind of this fun thing. It's like a fun visit, because you look at time and you're looking at billions of years, and you go, well, what's 100 years of that? You're like, oh, it's not this big deal, and that actually had a very, like, I think that allowed me to take, like, little risks that I could never take otherwise, because I knew, like, look, like, worst case scenario, it's kind of like boop, it's a little blip, right? And I always thought that was just. I've always viewed you as, like, a very big thinker, like very like.
No, I'm not. Mishka, can I tell you nothing?
Sure.
Because you were talking about the spiritual side. I think the most spiritual idea, in physics, to me, to my taste, is that you can escape from a black hole. No, you know what black hole is, right? It is a star which is so compact and dense, and gravity is so high at the surface of it that even light cannot escape. So hypothetically, black holes evaporate because of the principle of uncertainty. So if you are very light, so there are two requirements for you to escape. You need to be very, very lightweight. And also be close to the surface. And then by chance, you can find yourself outside. Period. It is what they call evaporation. So whatever it means, lightweight is it could be a context. Let's say minimal ego, whatever, something else. But it is really amazing. It is like a hopeless prison. Black star, black hole, and you can evaporate. Just be by chance.
I mean, that's fast. I mean, if we're going for overlaps,
Yeah.
right? I mean, that could apply to, for example, for dealing with trauma and staying light again, absolving the ego. They call it letting go, and having some of those. I wonder what like being close to the surface would imply. If that's maybe maintaining connection with the world in those instances on an emotional concept. I think that's just fascinating.
Connecting to the surface.
Yeah. So if it's like if being light is kind of like absolving of ego. You mentioned be close to the surface.
Yeah.
Right. So how would that manifest itself? Let's say.
Well, if you're not, depending on what you want to escape from. So when we're saying small ego, it would be idea of escaping from the regular life, in the sense to not depend on it, right? So then surface will be staying at the edge of that life, to not be very much in the center of it. Which probably is opposite of doing business. I don't know, maybe or maybe not. I'm not sure how you. Maybe not.
You know, there's a lot of things with business and capitalism and money. Money's a very physical thing, right? But I think business actually has spiritual components to it. And I think a lot of business people would be like, no, I'm just here for the money. But, if I made any business person work around the clock for money, then again, we talked about happiness, right? Where does their happiness go? What happens to their happiness? Oh, why is it gone all of a sudden? And then there has to be a moment of agreement that there's something else there. The funny thing with business is it's really like an energetic principle of channeling energy into certain flows and not others, right? Because if you were to take, for example, take organic food or sustainable farming, right? I mean, that is a business in and of itself. And we as humans, we get to make the choice of, do we want to put the energy, right? Money kind of is a representation of some sort of energetic input. Do we want to put it into something that's good, or do we want to put it somewhere else?
Yeah. So in that question of being light, maybe it comes together, because the best way to see something is to be outside of it, to not be involved too much. So in that sense, if you're light, not very much involved, just as you say, you just make your decisions and run the situation, not be a part which is run. Yes.
Yeah, there's a pendulum. This idea that there's a pendulum that swings left to right, and you can engage with the pendulum positively, and that will make it swing stronger. You can also engage with the pendulum negatively, and it will also swing stronger. So going, I hate this.
Against the stream. Yeah,
you're going against it, but it's still making it stronger. So you're right. The only way to disengage a pendulum is
disengage, right?
Is to actually disengage from it and not acknowledge it. Super powerful, super deep stuff. How do you like this lake? Do you like this lake?
It is unbelievable. I think I can never get used to it, that we have this lake.
It's beautiful. There's ducks.
I cannot get used to it each time. I see it every day, and it is a miracle.
It is. Yeah, so I come here a lot to reflect. I do. And it's a blessing to be able to reflect, given everything.
And what does it mean to reflect?
To look back.
Back or forward?
No, usually back to pull lessons. And I think it's one thing to pull lessons from your own life, right? You have a journey, I have a journey. Our lovely individual here has a journey. But it's also important to try and pull from the lessons of others, I think, too. What books...
What is this thing? Excuse me.
I think it's a duck.
I thought it is a big frog. Is it?
It could be a big frog. It could be a bullfrog. It could totally be a bullfrog.
Have you seen that frog?
We're going to hunt down the bullfrog, guys. We got to find the frog. And we got to name it. We got to name it Fred. Fred the frog. What books do you like? It could be totally out there. Do you have any book ideas?
We have a whole house of books. You mean like in literature?
Just something, something maybe that I wouldn't think of, which is probably everything.
Well, okay, let's say in English literature, I loved Edgar Allan Poe. And you remember we used to read those stories because he has an amazing language. His sentences are sometimes 1/3 of a page. That's much. He's an his syntax is amazing. Also, the Sound and the Fury by Faulkner, I think it's one of the amazing novels, especially the first part, which is made on behalf of a mentally disabled guy. And so it is unbelievable. We used to like Salinger, more like a teenage stuff. So this is about literature.
That's amazing. Journeys.
Kurt Vonnegut. We used to read Kurt Vonnegut.
Legendary.
Yes. And when you were 4 years old, we were reading about, what book did we read? The Остров Сокровищ.
Oh, Treasure Island?
Treasure Island.
Yeah, we read Treasure Island, and that was epic. It's funny because I do like this copywriting marketing stuff now, and actually, as you're saying these things, I'm like, oh man, there was actually a great foundation on all of these things that were in the back of my mind that were really elegant as a result of exactly this. That I hadn't realized until literally just that moment right there. I'm like, oh my God, actually there was a lot of like Sherlock Holmes is a good example, right? This idea, for example, in marketing, you want to have like an intrigue, right? Like what's going to happen, and I think a lot of that actually got pulled from you reading me Sherlock Holmes novels because it's a mystery.
Yeah, Mishka, excuse me. I think you had a breakthrough at age 4 because you started playing violin. And it is a lot. You were taking class, you were practicing and playing actually very nicely. On one hand. On the other hand, we were reading books together. And I think it was a really, really like a revolution for you. The first revolution in the area of mental and maybe soul things, of your consciousness.
At 4. At four, I had a revolution of consciousness.
Because we were doing so much. Because you were playing violin and we were reading books, and there were so many interesting things that happened. Suddenly, it started happening in your life. In the area of consciousness.
Well, I had this really amazing incubator in you, in my dad, and in my grandparents, who are your parents, who really provided this very unique worldview that life is meant to be loved. Like it's
Yes. And you remember at age 4, when you were 4, we traveled to Crimea, and we went hiking, and I think you were a different person compared to even 2 months ago. Because you were just a total human being. My best friend.
Aww.
Yeah, we used to hike mountains and read books. You were amazing at that time. I think it was a breakthrough for you.
Did I get worse? Did I get worse with time, or is it?
In some ways, we all get worse compared to age 4.
I guess it's the marketer kind of takes over, right? So I think we all have different sides that come through in different parts. And one thing I saw with you is we had, for those first 8 years, like the motherly side was very, very strong. And then I saw an adventurer come out that I think, at least I never saw. I think it was always there, but it kind of came out. And I found it so fascinating the bravery, like it's this great bravery to go, we're going to a new country. You know what? We're doing it. We're doing it. That's it. And I thought there was just something like so like, whoa. Like that takes really that takes a lot of guts. Like that, like and on one level, like, and I would just be transparent. On one level, it was really tough, right? Because I lost all my friends and la la la. But on another level, look at what it allowed me to do, and so. Can you maybe talk a little bit about like a risk and risk taking? Because that's actually, I mean, that's my reference point for entrepreneurship.
Yeah, it was tough for you because you had to go to school from the very beginning, and you did not speak English. I spoke English to some degree, and you did not speak at all. So in the beginning, it was hard for you. And you did not speak at all for a few months, and then suddenly started speaking with a making very complicated sentences right away. So, yeah, it had to be kind of phase transition. You know what is phase transition? It is another spiritual idea in physics.
Phase transition.
Yeah, it is like, let's say, melting the ice, or it is phase transition.
like a solid to liquid.
Right. Or vice versa, evaporating the water. It is a phase from a liquid, it goes to gas or to solid. This is called phase transition. So what happens during phase transition is that the temperature stays the same. And let's say if we're melting the ice, we heat it up, temperature goes up, comes to freezing degree, which is 0 in Celsius, and then stays the same. There is no change. If you measure change by the temperature, there is nothing. You keep using energy, losing it, and nothing seemingly happens. But what happens is the internal structure is changing, and this is what takes the energy. So this is like with your language. Let's say you can be suffering, and not speaking, right? And then suddenly you speak completely.
It's like a breakthrough.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that was too heavy.
No, that's exactly perfect.
I mean that there could be other.
The people get it. They get it.
Yeah, okay.
No, they get it. This is like the stuff that actually people want. A lot of people watching are entrepreneurs. They get it. And there's big macro concepts there. I just want to do one little call out here, just really quick, just because it's a good time. Again, I mentioned like I've had a lot of mentors, and it's very obvious where I get a lot of my principles from, and a lot of the things I've been able to build. And my mom's my biggest mentor. So if you haven't already, don't just build on your own lessons. Take the time to build on the lessons of others. Take the time to build on my failures and actually learn from me. I've got a great mentoring program, 12 weeks to learn everything you know how to start, scale, or optimize any business using internet marketing. We'll teach you how to break through your niche. We'll show you the 3 basic business principles that any business needs to have in order to be successful: how to acquire new prospects, how to convert them into paying customers, and how to get them coming back again and again and again to hand you money over and over again. I'm going to include the link down below.
Which business?
Any business. So
what do you mean? So somebody has a business and you can help that business to flourish like that?
Absolutely.
Oh. And if you do not, let's say I do not have a business, then what?
Then we'll teach you how to dial into a passion.
Find
it and create value out of it that you can package to actually create a business out of. Like what you said, when you do something you love, it feels effortless, and you're able to get exponential results on anything. And whether you're a student, a professional, or an entrepreneur, or anywhere in between, we've created a really concise program. And what we're doing is we're offering you a free 30-minute consultation session with one of my coaches. It's amazing. Like, click the link down below, get on the page, fill out the form, sign up. It's going to be awesome. Just wanted to do that. So if you miss out, you're silly. Just go do it.
No, you want to make it positive. If you take it, you are smart.
Well, if you take it, yes. If you take it, you're smart. See, she's a better marketer than me. If you take it, you're very smart. So, let's talk about maybe cycles in life. I think that's kind of a cool because we've gone like all the way around this lake. That's like
Cycles in life.
once there's like a thing, right? There's like seasons. There's us going around the lake. There's like revolutions on a bike wheel. What's the cycle that you see me going through? Like do I like take my I'll just say it, right? Take my relationships, right? I'm single. I work hard. I find a girl I really like. I fall in love. I kind of work less. And then I lose the girl, and then I'm like really sad for a little while, and then I kind of repeat the cycle. So what are some cycles that maybe you've observed in your life or in the world? Like, where's the world going?
Where does the world go?
I don't know.
What do you mean by world? Just this earth, the humanity, or just the whole universe? I'm not sure.
The whole universe.
I have no idea. We need to ask God where things go. Even we don't know where we are going. We don't know what's going to happen in 5 minutes. So, but about cycles, Mishka, I wish I would tell. Yes, for sure. But each time you fall in love, the business or school kind of goes down. But this is the law. I mean, what? It means that you get involved. I actually consider it positive. Yeah, because it means you put yourself completely into your passion. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, to me, it is a great thing. So, and then the goal is gone, then the passion could be business. I don't know how to combine these things. It is difficult.
That's good. That's good. That's actually good feedback because I can't seem to figure it out. And
I'm not sure.
You know, well, I always talk. So I have like the two concepts for this. You know, they're supposed to work, right? There's the balance concept where like you do one, you do the other, you do one, you do the other, you do one, you do the other, and that kind of works. And then there's the harmony, which is you kind of combine the two at the same time, and you know, try and make that other person a part of your life and a part of your business and everything. And you're right. It's.
I think it is cool. If you fall in love and fail your business, it is a good thing.
There you go.
So, and then you start all over. Because one lesson from it, it's amazing about you. You had started all over so many times. After every girl, right? Basically. You start and go better than before. So, and it might be a good thing because all the construction is gone and you're free, you can grow to something new.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, those of you watching know kind of some of the things that I'm going through and not going through and can relate. And we have this great community. So one of the things that we did that I don't think I even really fully explained is we have this great community of entrepreneurs. And then and we talk to them about things like this, like how do you build a business while in a relationship, for example, right? Or, you know, what do you do if you're kind of working really hard and you're kind of on your own, like you kind of don't have any friends you can talk to about it, and so how do you go about how does someone go about maintaining a certain level of happiness, I guess, as they pursue something? I think that's really, like, how do you not lose this happiness thing? It's like you have it, but then like you've seen me drop it.
Yes.
You've seen me drop it. You've seen me go and like
things go up and down. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, how do you drop it less?
Mishka, I don't know. If you have a good partner or partners, you can have an agreement. Like, you know, there are maternity leaves. You can have in love leaves. So somebody fall in love, we could just let the guy go and cover him. That could be fun if it is real.
So I should do that with my staff. So if Ilya falls in love, I have to just let him go.
Yeah, for some time.
Oh man, that's so. I think that's kind of right though, right? It's like I think the scattered focus can actually result in a lot of damage.
Yeah, because then you can live your life in full and still preserve the business. I mean, if you have such partners, and of course it implies that you are honest. People are honest. If you do not fall in love, they do not use it. Yeah, because for maternity, for example, it is a similar thing. We need to take care of the baby. So
how was I as a baby? Was I a loud, annoying? I was a terrible baby.
You were so loud. You just wouldn't sleep. Mishka, you wouldn't sleep. It was horrible. We were trying to make you go to bed, and then we can see everybody who tried that is sleeping, and you are still not.
So
You're awake.
So I would stay awake forever.
Yeah.
Active mind.
Very active.
Very active.
Yes.
So there
Very
you go.
curious.
Very curious.
Yeah. What? So
yeah.
what about mentoring? So you can teach me do business?
Sure.
Like what? What business?
Any business. It's really simple. There's 3 qualities to any business that every business needs to have. I've seen this with 3 companies in a row now. Each of these companies does over $1 million per month. I was a chief marketing officer at all of them, 3 in a row. And it's really simple, right? It's acquisition, get more prospects through the door, conversion. Don't just get them to look at your product, but get them to actually take out their wallet, pull out their credit card, and give you their money. And then the third is retention. Get them to do it again and again and again. And
Who's them? Excuse me.
The prospects then become customers and become clients, right? So as long as you package the value correctly, as long as you position yourself in a marketplace that's competitive, so that you have a head start, so that you have a competitive advantage, and as long as you take that value and you deliver it through a mechanism that sticks, then you're going to be successful. It's kind of like in physics, right? There's laws. And, this is one thing that I've learned in business, and I've applied, the multiple generations of like PhDs that we have, of theoretical physics, like way my brain works, to business, and there are laws.
We got 2 minutes left.
Got it. And that there are laws to how business works, and if you apply the laws, just like gravity, right? If I take a thing out and I drop it, it's going to fall. Business is no different. So I just wanted to find some of the patterns that I saw from working with, Ty Lopez, Jump Cut Academy, Real Social Dynamics, a lot of other clients. Take that, package it into a formula, and show it to people so that they could get results. And absolutely, if you could take your value and package it, you will absolutely get results. It's a law of the universe of business that is infallible. It simply exists. That's how it works. Just like air has a certain property and money follows value. It's a certain property, just like magnetic things.
And what is the law? What law?
Money follows value. That's it. Super simple. And then how you create
So what
that
do you need
value,
to do?
package the
Wait a
value.
second. I understand the law. If you let the apple fall, it will fall. And what is the law with the money?
Money follows value. If you create value, money will come. Now,
Money follows value.
yeah, absolutely.
I see. And what is value?
Value is something you package.
Something useful for people?
Absolutely. It's super simple.
Like a thing?
Like a thing.
So let's say if I have a technical idea, you know how to convert it into business.
Absolutely.
I have multiple ideas.
We should do it.
Yeah.
You guys should get my mentoring.
But we should start with patent, right? Is it so or not?
Not always. No. I think we have 2 minutes, right? Or 1 minute? 30.
Zero.
We have 0?
Zero.
So we're going to wrap up.
-2.
Guys, if you haven't already,
Thank
click
you.
the link down below. Get the mentoring program. It's going to be awesome. I look forward to seeing you on the free call with my coaches. Click the link down below. Let's get you signed up. Let's rock. Cheers.